It's probably the most interesting time to be in commerce. I've been in it for 20 years now than it has been in probably the last 15 years, quite frankly.
Hi, I'm John Janarone, editor-in-chief of Tech Edge. Thrilled to be here in New York City in this sunny August afternoon. I'm here with Travis Hess, who is CEO of Commerce. The company trades right here on Nasdaq. Travis, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me.
So, Travis, first question is the one that jumped out at me. You're not big commerce, you're just commerce now. Tell us about the rebrand and what this means.
Yeah, no, we went through this a couple weeks ago. We're really proud of it. We spent about 6 months kind of synthesizing and evaluating different brands and names. Really wanting to unify the three products first and foremost, both operationally and strategically, and at the same time really come out with a bold name, obviously broad and bold, and in my opinion that represents where it is we are kind of in the space and where the space itself is going. And again, it's probably the most interesting time to be in commerce. I've been in it for 20 years now than it has been in probably the last 15 years, quite frankly.
Great. And now, Travis, you were telling me in the green room here a minute ago that there's also been an integration of these different business units, too, as part of this process, right? It's not just about the name.
It's not just about the name. No, it's symbolic, certainly. But yes, we have brand equity in the three products. Obviously, the flagship platform product, BigCommerce, that most folks know us as the former name of the company. Feedonomics, which has been around for a long time, one of the leading sort of data and product feed optimizers and syndicators in the world. We deal with some of the top brand manufacturers and retailers globally. And then MakeSwift, which was a visual editor we felt was best in class. We bought about a year and a half ago. So the three of them together.
Great. Now, Travis, there are two letters I just can't escape these days. Out at RSAC in San Francisco, my previous guest, it's all about AI. What does AI mean to commerce? How does it impact your business? And what are you guys doing to adjust to this rapidly changing environment?
Yeah, it's all the rage, obviously. It is unquestionably the fastest, I think, adopted technology in recent memory. It's certainly creating a tremendous amount of demand and angst in many capacities, and it plays very much into where I've kind of seen the market moving, and many others have seen it moving over the last couple of years. So really the consumer behavior is changing more than anything. Everyone is pick your tool and answer engine. People are using it every day, and you know, we're getting into contextual conversations that's providing value and depth and trust over time. And obviously right now it's around product discovery. That's where most of the investment and the opportunity is right now that we're knee deep in a positive way. That's going to evolve into shopping, and with that's going to come other complexities and things that we feel play really, really well into our strategy and our thesis and what we've done. Great.
Now, Travis, you work in a very competitive industry, but you're doing great. This is a really exciting rebrand. Tell me a bit about how you think about differentiating yourself from the competitors.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been in this space 20 years. I've been fortunate enough or astute enough to kind of associate myself with the dominant technology partners, platforms, and service capabilities over the years. I didn't wake up at 50 and all of a sudden become contrarian. I was in presumably the dominant player in the space. For those that know my history, there was a reason I took this job, and I felt foundationally commerce at the time, given those three products, served the best foundation for where the market is actually going at scale. Obviously, AI is accelerating that at a pace faster than probably all of us would have assumed, but it's a massive opportunity to disrupt the industry. It's a massive opportunity to see this paradigm shift in real time. And like I said, commerce had gotten kind of boring for a while. It was fairly, commoditized, rudimentary. Certainly, we've seen over the last couple of years this proliferation of channels. Brands, regardless of size, need to engage customers where they want to engage them, regardless of where they buy their good or service, and they need to do that at scale, and they need to do that with value. And now you add AI on top of it that's now playing into that discovery and that shopping paradigm. It's going to get wildly complicated in a good way, and it plays right into what we've actually done really, really well over the last several years.
You know, Travis, I was just thinking about something I may have mentioned with another guest. I sometimes get a little bit concerned about AI because it can influence you on pretty big decisions. So let's say it's shopping. Like I have a baby son, right? And what if AI tells me this is the right food or formula for him? I mean, is there any risk out there about people making the wrong purchase decisions?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, trust is at the base of all of this, and that will obviously improve over time as these models get better and they're fed more enriched information, which again, for us, the Feedonomics brand, which we acquired about 4 years ago, has been, optimizing and synthesizing and syndicating product data for some of the largest brands in the world for the last several years. That's now serving into these answer engines. And depending on the answer engine, it's taking both structured and unstructured data, synthesizing it. And any sort of enterprise brand or any sort of digitally native brand or anyone with brand ethos is going to be very particular about where their brand shows up, how it shows up, and who it shows up next to. So I agree with you, there's a governance element of it. They're going to need more control of how results are shown and why and where they're placing their bets. And again, plays right into what we do really, really well across all three products, and feel really excited about playing into our strategies going into the next quarter or two.
It's a good insight, Travis. One thing I imagine is not going to change is the holiday season. So can't believe we're in the back half of the year. It's just time's flying here. Any predictions about how things are going to look going into November, December? What are you guys saying, internally?
Yeah, we feel good. I think part of this is that you're operating at the pace of the answer engine. So again, and there's 4 or 5 of them, I think everyone knows who they are. They all have different nuances and advantages and disadvantages. Certainly we're playing with all of them quite deeply. I think you're going to see more and more consumer behavior through the holiday season, leverage AI, leverage these conversational and contextual conversations to go discover brands, discover shopping. We'll see how quickly that turns into a shopping conversation where people are transacting actually in the UIs by the answer engines. It brings up a lot of kind of inventory and order orchestration complexity that, again, I feel really good about where this is all going, but it has to happen at the same pace as the answer engines to make sure that we're not compromising customer experiences, expectations. What you don't want is to run up a bunch of bad experiences for a brand going into holiday and having it so magnified. There's just so much pressure to create frictionless things around there, and that's the last thing you want to do. So I think there'll be a little trepidation as to how quickly it moves through, but I think discovery unquestionably is front and center and will remain front and center now and into the future, certainly.
Now, are companies really rethinking their approach to marketing and their presence in the internet these days? Are you still going out and buying Google AdWords or that kind of thing for your product? Is there still a place for that?
I think there's still a place for it. I think it's going to be a bit more nuanced going forward. And yes, the answer is there is a tremendous amount of transformation going on in the market right now. Marketing and commerce are essentially blending. So they used to be a bit more compartmentalized. You're starting to see that blend. You're starting to see brands, regardless of size, having to shift their investment, shift in their behavior to take advantage of this, because the consumer behavior is ultimately going to drive the velocity and the purpose of how brands, regardless of size, react. So yes, as long as that consumer behavior is going deeper and deeper into these answer engines, brands, organizations need to get smarter. They need to embrace the technology, and they need partners like us to help them go optimize and syndicate at scale. And I think this is the biggest paradigm shift I've seen in the space in at least 15 years.
Well, Travis, you've given me a great education on how this world works, but I feel like I've been a little indulgent. Let's talk more about your company for a minute, if we can. Tell us about your growth prospects. Could you do M&A? What's on the horizon for the next 5 years?
Yeah, listen, I've been pretty public about this. We're trying to grow the business. We've been through, over the last, let's use it academically, semester or two, rebooting, transforming the business. Obviously, I came in, made some material changes on the leadership team, restructured the business, integrated the 3 products into one. We obviously just went through the rebrand. We're doing that all in a public market, which isn't for the faint of heart. But at the same time, it's all on the purpose to drive shareholder value and quite frankly, growth. So we feel really good about where we are as a business today. You're going to start, we're trying to exit this year, obviously, with growth indicators that map to what we've shown in guidance. And I think we're excited about that momentum. And I think as this paradigm kind of continues to accelerate into the future, open, intelligent, composable, and AI-driven commerce is the future of where everything is going. And we feel like, with the 3 products we have, we're right in front and center in that and being able to take advantage of it.
All right, Travis. Well, let's leave it there. This has been a terrific interview. This has been Travis Hess, who's the CEO of Commerce, trades right here at Nasdaq. Really enjoyed the conversation today, Travis. I'm John Janrone, Editor-in-Chief of Tech Edge, signing off from Nasdaq MarketSite.